What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and you cannot make this stuff up. Those of you waiting for stimulus, those of you on fixed incomes that are waiting for increases, you guys, we're going to be seeing what happens here, because what unfolded yesterday was pretty nuts. And like I said, you can't make this stuff up. What we're hearing is happening with our economy. We're hearing we're likely already in a recession. Inflation is out of control. The Federal Reserve is going to have to increase interest rates. And we're going to be seeing if they send out some additional help to the American people, because, man, and take a look at what happened yesterday, you guys. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Headlines coming out like this. The White House throws an inflation reduction party with James Taylor as stocks crash over a dismal 8.3% rate. That is right. They held a celebration for inflation reduction on the same day that we received the CPI data showing that inflation was coming in way hotter than anybody expected, and the stock market was crashing while he was giving that speech. Take a look, you guys. Tweets coming out like this. Electricity, 15.8% increase. Meat, 8.8% increase. Eggs, 39.8%. Baby food, 12.6%. Fuel oil, 68.8%. Gas, 25.6%. And the president says, I feel like this needs to be celebrated. Here's an infographic, you guys. You can see bread up 21%, milk 72 cents, beef 81 cents, eggs $1.65, and gas up $1.77. All of this showing the inflation that's taking place. And you guys, how bad was it? Well, take a look. Both CNN and MSNBC, they cut away from Biden's inflation speech. While he was giving the speech, they cut away. I've got the video footage so you can see the cutaway. C-SPAN didn't even air it. He was shut out. Maybe it's the aviator glasses he's wearing. Somebody tweeted, you guys. But it's true. Take a look at these headlines. CNN cuts from the coverage of Biden's Inflation Reduction Act speech as the Dow plummets. It's hard to be celebratory. And like I said, I've got the video footage covering the cutaways and also the update on the state of inflation and how this is going to be impacting our nation, especially those on fixed income, you guys. And as you know, whatever unfolds, I will keep you up to date, regardless of whether it's good news, bad news, what we want to hear or not. I'll be sure to share it, and I always cite the sources. But you guys, take a look at the subtitle. The Dow Jones Industrial Average had its worst day since June 2020 after higher than expected inflation numbers, you guys. So we're going to be diving into the video footage. I'm going to share with you the latest that's unfolding right now on this. But before we do, though, wanted to mention very quickly that the relief roadmap, the comprehensive list of every single stimulus check in the nation, literally over 100 in this list I've compiled for states, cities, counties, many of which people don't even realize exist. I'm going to be adding more programs to it, likely today, you guys, as more are rolling in, and I'm going to keep you up to date here on the channel on those as well. And also, I know that there has been a few people that have had some technical login issues. Just got off the phone yesterday again with technical support. Turns out I think I can override that and get you guys access. So hopefully get that taken care of. Thank you for your patience. Again, it's just me. I'm not tech savvy, and but I am going to get you guys taken care of. So keep an eye out for that, you guys. And also on the second channel, I've got a new video coming out. Check it out. How to reprogram our minds to help us gain success and grow wealth in personal finance. That's on the second channel, the Steve Ram Finance channel. I'm going to be releasing that sometime today. Keep an eye out if you're interested. Hope it's a blessing and entertaining. But with that being said, let's dive into the video footage, the latest updates on what's happening right now with inflation, recession, our economy, stimulus, everything taking place. But before we do, very quickly, smash the like button for me. Helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. If you appreciate the content, helps me out. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's start with the news coverage cutting away from Biden, and then we're going to take a look at what they're saying is on the way with inflation.
Okay, you're listening there to President Biden at the White House. He's celebrating the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. He says that he's been fighting Big Pharma for decades. But there is this unfortunate split screen right now with the Dow taking a total beating, down more than 1,200 points, and so it feels like it's hard to be celebratory for some people in the crowd.
Yeah, this is the day on which the White House celebrates the Inflation Reduction Act, when we get a new report that shows that inflation is still especially high.
Hi there, everyone. It's just 2 minutes after 4 o'clock. We are listening from a feisty and fired up President Joe Biden at the White House today, touting some legislative victories. He's talking about the Inflation Reduction Act and how needed it is right now. It has become a signature accomplishment of his term in office so far.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. You can't make it up. Them pulling away while he's giving this speech celebrating inflation reduction as we're getting word of more inflation. And here's an article that says on Tuesday, episodes of CNN Newsroom, the hosts, they observed that Biden's speech touting the success of the Inflation Reduction Act was poorly timed, noting the simultaneous collapse of the stock market. Earlier in that day, the latest consumer price index report was released showing that inflation had risen 8.3% in August from a year ago. Now, while Biden claimed that the Inflation Reduction Act was the single most important legislation passed in Congress to combat inflation and one of the most significant laws in our nation's history, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it tumbled in real time amid concerns of rising prices, having the worst day since June of 2020. And at one point, CNN pulled back from its live coverage of the president's speech, noting the unfortunate visuals of the president celebrating while the Dow took a total beating, you guys. So, yeah, they can't make this stuff up. That unfolding while he's speaking, we're seeing it tumbled. They had the visuals on the screen and they just pulled away. Now, as I mentioned, the unfortunate news is that this is going to be increasing the cost of goods across the board, and that's going to be really tough for those on fixed incomes. Now, the COLA data is supposed to come out next month, so we're going to be seeing what the cost of living adjustment increase is going to be for those on SSI, SSDI, for those that get those fixed benefits. And we're going to be seeing, in addition to that, we've heard promises of stimulus provisions of Social Security increases of $200 per month. That legislation has made its way back into Congress just recently from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. We're going to be seeing if they bring that back. In addition to that, we're hearing there is a last-ditch effort push to bring back the child tax credits. And also, as I mentioned, there's still over $700 billion, close to $800 billion, we're hearing, of leftover stimulus package funds just sitting there. That could be repurposed, reallocated by executive order by the president, and some are saying he could even send out a $2,000 stimulus check. Now, we will see, because midterms are coming up, and Democratic leaders in Congress, they are motivated to stay in power, so we'll see what provisions come up. We've been hearing that this was going to happen right around midterms, and whatever unfolds, I'll keep you up to date. But now let's get word of what's happening with inflation and our economy. Let's take a look at this video footage.
The direction of the U.S. economy befuddling the experts again and rattling investors in a huge way as the latest consumer price index data finds inflation in August was mostly unchanged, despite the Fed's actions to cool soaring prices. Inflation up 8.3% last month over a year ago. Nowhere was the disappointment expressed more profoundly than on Wall Street, experiencing its worst day in over 2 years. All three major indexes suffering big losses. The Dow off nearly 4%, the S&P down more than 4%, the Nasdaq dropping more than 5%. Wall Street bracing for more interest rate hikes by the Fed after steadily falling gasoline prices have failed to offset the rising costs of other things we buy. Emily Ikeda has our report.
From the price tags in the checkout aisle to the cost of keeping the lights on and even the size of the rent check, new data today showing what so many Americans are feeling. The price of nearly everything is stubbornly high, up 8.3% compared to a year ago, putting more pressure on the Federal Reserve to continue aggressively raising interest rates when it meets next week.
We have more to do, but we're getting there.
The higher-than-expected inflation numbers, unwelcome news for President Biden, who today celebrated the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act.
We had a vision, a plan, and we stuck to it. And the result is we're getting the job done for the American people.
Republicans slamming the White House ceremony today as out of touch.
Democrats' policies are sucker punching American families every time they set foot in the checkout line.
While the national average for a gallon of gas is now down $1.30 from the all-time high in June, it's still up 16% compared to a year ago. Also soaring, electricity up 15.8%. rent 6.7%, and groceries surging 13.5%, the biggest yearly spike in more than 4 decades. Those rising prices are pushing more people to food banks, like this one in Burlington, New Jersey, where Glenda Wimberly volunteers.
This is a blessing for the community, and it's a big blessing for me.
The 70-year-old isn't just a volunteer, she also relies on the food bank to feed the 3 grandchildren she's raising.
You go in there and spend $50 and you got like 5 things in the cart. You say, what happened to my money? Where's the food?
While average hourly wages are up 5.2%, inflation more than wipes out those gains and is no help to people on a fixed income like Glenda.
It's like a red neon sign flashing that, oh, can't spend that, can't go there, can't do that. It's very difficult.
And Emily, there is growing concern about another looming economic crisis involving America's railways.
Lester, that's right. Nearly 60,000 railroad workers could go on strike if an agreement over pay and scheduling isn't reached by Friday. Such a move would further snarl supply chains and could cause a travel nightmare. Already, Amtrak has preemptively canceled several long-distance routes that operate on freight lines. And Lester, that could be just the beginning.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Inflation on the rise. We're hearing interest rates are going to be increasing, and we're hearing this could very likely put us into a recession. We will see if the definition of a recession changes again. If it does, I will let you guys know. But regardless of what unfolds, I'll be sure to keep you up to date. We're going to be seeing how Congress responds, how the Federal Reserve responds, what's going to be happening with stimulus legislation, and I will keep you up to date every step of the way here on the channel, you guys. But that is the latest, and as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to take a quick second, smash the like button for me, helps out the channel a ton. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's free. Why not? All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining the second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance, more content coming out today. And also, you guys, if you're interested, the comprehensive list of every single stimulus check in the nation on every level, all in one place, easy to access at www.reliefroadmap.com. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.